If they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call them by Slamma.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Report me acting ignorant.
Zion Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere! Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars.
Coogs. It is a rainy night here in the city of Houston. And quite frankly, we just got some really sad news coming out of the University of Houston Cougars program following the death of Kurt Hester that the University of Houston officially announced, the strength and conditioning coach for the program. But man, we're coming off a very, very big win for Houston. They went up to tempt Arizona. They beat the number 24-ranked Arizona State Sun Devils, and they looked dominant for most of the game. Wasn't clean in that fourth quarter, but they made the play when they had to. They came away with the win. They did it for their head coach and Kurt. And now the Houston Cougars, listen, we're seeing the comments. You have ripped Coach Hester, but they went out there and they had an impressive showing against Arizona State. And you got to rank the Cougars. Rank the Cougars.
You got to rank us, man.
Bryce, welcome into this show on Saturday night. It's rainy here in Houston. I hope y'all are doing good. And let's talk about that victory for the Cougs, 24-16 in Arizona.
Hey, man, when you introduce us, don't say just the Houston Cougars. You say top 25 Houston Cougars because
Top
that's where we're going
25.
to be at when the new polls come out. We back in the top 25. We back at the top of where we supposed to be, right there at the top of the Big 12. It's happening. The movement is happening. I thought we was a year away, but no, that year is now. It's right now. It's time right now. We come to take the throne. We coming for the Big 12 title, and let's go.
It's our time, man. You see the culture. It's a new culture, UX culture, man. We're here for the Big 12. It's our time. Hey, man, that's a big win. I'm excited. Last time we had a quarterback throw for 200, rush for 100 was 2019 with De'Aaron King. Kind of stepped up big runs.
Oh, King.
Man, yeah, it was King. Before that, we only had it 2 times. Kevin Cobb was
Hey,
the other one.
I'm surprised Greg Ward was never on that list.
Yep, I checked it. Yeah, they don't have Greg Ward on there. Well, Greg Ward, he also was known, but
But forget all that.
yeah.
Tonight, Connor won a lot of Cougars over. The guy played with heart. He played with guts. I call him Tim Tebow 2.0. He has turned into Tim Tebow, which I don't mind the collegiate version of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow
Yes.
won Florida National Championship. So if you can give us that version of yourself, Connor, hey, you all right with me, big dog. We made it. We ain't made it yet, but we went on the road into a tough environment in that stadium to beat that team. Now, granted, I know they had some key guys out, but I don't care. It's a win. A win is a
Hmm.
win, and we did what we were supposed to do today. Let's go.
Man, how about Connor, man? The power runs after power run. And he running through
Yeah.
arm tackles, big run to start the game. I mean, Connor came up big. And, I mean, and the pressure never, I mean, the situation didn't look too big for him. He looked calm and collected, and whatever we needed from him, he provided. And man, hey, a defense too. We got to shout out the defense too. Man, they flew around. They hit that big play at the end, big hit, getting pressure on the quarter. They're really up front. Whether they had, I know they's missing playmakers, so I don't want to undermine that. But our D line was getting pressure, the blitzing. I mean, our defense showed up like they've been showing up all year. Our defense is for real. We for real. Rank us top 25 Houston Cougars, man. You got to address us properly.
Period. As the young kids say, period. That's what we doing. Period.
Big time, big
Connor,
shout out.
I'm excited because our defense. It's not gonna get talked enough. That first half, first three quarters. I mean, towards the end, like any normal defense, you're not as aggressive. You see the score, so you plan not to lose. You
Hmm.
playing like stand on. You playing like, hey, I'm gonna play it safe. But I felt like the first quarter offensively, we like you said, we talked about it offset. We got to be able to convert when we get down there, like closer, because that kind of stuff. You should put that game should have been put away 35-0. It should have been put away and not even a chance to come back. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna say anything negative tonight because we're in the top 25, and it's happening when the polls come out. So tonight is only positivity going out. Willie Fritz, I was not a fan of yours. I was not familiar with your work, but I am now, son. I am now. I respect what you've done, what you're doing. You're 7-1. You got us rolling. It ain't the prettiest football in the world. It ain't the high scoring offenses in the world, but it's a W, and I'll take it.
It's effective, man. And I like the quote how they was talking about on the late in the broadcast. They were like, usually head coaches have some type of speciality or some special, whether it's offense, defense, or some type of thing that they're known for. He was like, Willie Fritz just wins. I mean, and you can't knock it. Well, no matter the level he was at, he wins. And where we at right now, second year? I mean, we what 71, right?
Good morning.
71. So he
And,
just
and, and
wins.
we're
Seven.
going to get to it a little later, but the schedule we have, now come on now. I'm not
Hmm.
saying
Yeah,
it, but I'm saying it. We're going to get
this
into that,
was
but
Bryce. That definitely this was the on paper at least, right? This was the toughest game left on the schedule at Arizona State. This is the same Arizona State team that a year ago made it into the college football playoff. They were representing the Big 12, and UH not only went on the road and defeated the Sun Devils, but for most of the game, for three-quarters of that game, they dominated, and they were shutting out Arizona State, which is the most impressive thing on the fourth quarter. Granted, a lot of things that, if we're going to nitpick, there's a lot of stuff that they could have cleaned up. But ultimately, when it came down to they had to make a play, they did it. The defense came up. That was a perfect PBU on that fourth down. And
Hmm.
they caught a break. Now, Arizona State shot themselves a lot on the foot when it came to these penalties. And Houston took advantage all night long. But now, like you referenced in terms of the schedule for Houston, it turns very, very favorable to them when you look at who they got left. They got TCU, they got Baylor, they got West Virginia, they got UCF. I mean, they're not necessarily the juggernauts when you're talking about the Big 12, but that's us on the outside looking in. They got to take it one step at a time, and that's when we come next Saturday, November 1st, against West Virginia. That's the game that's most important. But they have an opportunity to shock the world, really, here.
and we got West
And
Virginia at home, correct?
correct, and that it's
We
fun.
need to pack that stadium out.
Yeah, at home. Yep.
They need to pack that stadium out, and they need to take care of business. And coincidentally enough, we all are on board. Like rank Houston. Houston needs to be a top 25 team, and quite frankly, they should be at least
I
a
think
top
we will be,
22
no question.
team. And that's going to be the game that they celebrate at the 10-year anniversary. They're going to be celebrating the 2015 Peach Bowl victory
Hmm.
team against West Virginia. I don't know what time that game will be. It hasn't been announced yet. They will announce it tomorrow, Sunday, October 26th, when the kickoff time for that game will be. But I agree with you 100%, Bryce. This team has earned it. They'll be 7-1, 4-1 in Big 12 play, the most wins ever. Granted, it's barely year 3 in Big 12, but 4 wins in a conference season is the most they've ever had early in the early history in the Big 12 conference, and they have a chance to win a lot more. They just got to keep their head down, take care of business, because it's all momentum ahead for this University of Houston Cougars football team.
Man, to
Real quick,
carry
I
to what you just said, all momentum. We already have an elite 26 class. This should make it
hmm
even more elite.
man,
This is a message to all the 26 out there, especially the ones that are in the city of Houston. Do you see what your school is doing? If you believe in that, like I believe in that, stay home. You elite recruits in the city. Stay home. Look what they boys are doing for the city. It's happening. It's happening right now. The U of H need to capitalize on this momentum. Let's continue to build this class because this is how you have steady success for years to come. I think Coach Sampson, once he was the king at it. Once he got it going, now he have those elite classes and he have his guys that you can hand choose, and we can do the exact same thing in football now. I'm excited, man. This is a great time to be a Coug, and we got it going now, man.
man. Bryce, elaborate on the importance and the momentum. I mean, because we had some recruits already locked in even before we had this start, and then we was kind of looking at the schedule and how favorable. Talk about that momentum because you in the trenches with the high school kids. So kind of like tell the fans how big and how important how, the momentum that we have is, and the potential even more recruits that we can get. I mean, from what you told us, the number one recruit running back is considering
interested.
UH.
Yes.
And so, like, kind of tell them how important and how big it is and why the fans need to pack this stadium out against West Virginia is to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. Like from the outside, U of H is starting to get a little buzz now. So you getting some of the best players. Like I said, Paris Melvin. He's the best player in the city of Houston. He's coming to U of H. Jaden Warren, who I just seen abuse people last night. He's coming to U of H. Like we're starting to get the best players. So I can't tell you how big it is for when those recruits and they stuff they come to the games and they see a packed out crowd. They see electric. They see promise. Because the city always had promise, man. It's Houston. It's the greatest city in the world. So you have a chance to now have a winning product on your campus. But we got to have fans come out and show what they're made of. Now, I hate to say it because we are some of the most bandwagon fans there is. That's just how U of H has always been. I remember the days when we were at the Rob and it would be empty.
I think we lost Bryce there for a second. We're having plenty of, of technical difficulties with the weather here in the city of Houston. There's a front passing through. If you hear the rain in the distance, that's what it is. But real quickly, I want to shout out Eddie Lozano, who
Yeah, that's
gave
what I
us
was
a
about to do
couple
too.
of
Yeah.
super stickers down. If you can put it on the screen, he commented. First, he said UH is kicking ass. If you can do 11-1 now, which is very viable on the table, realistically for this Houston Cougars football team. When you think about it, in the preseason, when we were talking about what really the seeding was for this team, because even the most optimistic of all folks would have said 11-1 is really reaching it. And now here we are sitting 8 games into the season, and it is very, very viable for this UH football team, considering that the final 4 games left of the regular season are West Virginia, Baylor, TCU, and UCF for Houston. I think if we have to put the toughest team left on the schedule again on paper, because any given Saturday or Friday, whenever that game may be for Houston, it's going to be tough. And now that if they do become a top 25 team, which all three of us are on record, they should be a top 25 team, and regardless of what ranking says, this is a really, really good football team. Now teams are going to start to get up for Houston because they know that they're coming in, they're going to face a battle, and they're trying to upset one of the top teams in the Big 12. And Houston has done a good job now, 2 weeks in a row. Kind of a coincidence that you're doing it against Arizona schools, but this was an opportunity for Houston to kind of put an end to the Arizona team season in terms of at least trying to get to the Big 12 championship game. And at least for Arizona State right now, it becomes really, really difficult for them to make it to the Big 12 championship game, and this has been a really, really good bounce back for Houston after really the kind of letdown performance that they had 3-4 weeks ago when they played Texas Tech. They've done a hell of a job making up for it since then and bouncing back. And again, it's a testament to the coaching staff, to Willie Fritz, and the players themselves too, because I won't forget Control Webb after the game, after the loss to Texas Tech. They didn't seem discouraged. They seemed more hungry. They seemed like it was an outlier that the way they performed against Texas Tech, and so far they've proved that it was indeed an outlier, and for the most part that this isn't just they've been a byproduct of their season so far. This is a University of Houston football team that's a really, really good team that obviously we knew coming into the season they were going to be a really good defense, but now the offense is starting to make plays when they have to, and they're complementing the defense. Shout out to the special teams as well, that's been stellar for much of the year. And now we're excited. Now, granted, 1 game at a time. Next one, November 1st against West Virginia. But yeah, this is a really, really exciting time for it to be a Houston Cougars football fan.
It is, man, and I just like the way we started. I mean, we put hats on Levitt first drive, put hats on, let him know it's gonna be a physical game, and he was hit a lot and ended up knocked out the game. He looked still to be healthy, but just probably just injured instead of hurt. I mean, it's a difference between the two. So definitely wish his health because he's a baller quarterback. But man, this how we set the tone defensively, the way we drove the football. And I think just the new culture of Fritz. I mean, 1-0. I think our team gonna be ready. We ain't gonna get too big headed versus in years past. And I think we're gonna be ready and favored to come out and win, especially next week, and just take it 1-0 like we should each week. And so, man, I'm just excited. Just how we won the game. It was dominant. Although they battled back late, I think that's kind of a testament to how much talent that they have. Although they were missing their best player and Tyson, their quarterback was knocked out, but we still was able to hold them and win like we did. And so, man, it is an exciting time. I mean, there's different things that we can nitpick, and one of the things that was kind of questionable with me was when we didn't punt. We threw it, and then we didn't throw it deep to even throw it in the end zone. We got maybe 6 or 8 yards, and they drew down and scored. So, man, shout out to everyone that sent all the super stickers. Houston, Germany for another super sticker. Eddie Lozano, Giovanni, Juan M. Everybody that's in the super stickers, man. I love it, man. I appreciate you guys for raging with us. We hype this as much as you is. We got to keep this going. If that's what it takes for for you guys to help join us, I mean, hey, we need to keep this going because the time is now, and it's only going up from here.
Yeah, the time is indeed now, and Chris, or Dan, I should say, we're waiting for Chris to hopefully join us if he can. He's having technical difficulties on top of that, but geez, another super sticker by Eddie Lozano. Big thank you, shout out. Which has a lot of history, and this is really cool. Third year into the Big 12, year two of Willie Fritz, and they're showing what really. What a lot of fans go, even if we're going back way back in the day, the initial history of the Big 12 when that conference first launched after the collapse of the Southwestern Conference, and unfortunately for UH, they were not allowed into the initial Big 12 conference, and this was some of the things that UH fans always said that
Hmm.
the potential, right, for the University of Houston if they were
Yep.
allowed to get into a Power Five conference. And for Willie, this is a testament to head coach Willie Fritz, what he's been able to do in year two, the buy-in. And we saw it in flashes last season. The defense was stellar. The offense just wasn't able to really make any plays for Houston to win consistently. But even then, they still had some big upset wins when you think about the big win against Utah a year ago, against Kansas State. And now they're doing it consistently. And now, Bryce, like you mentioned earlier about the really the optimism when it comes to the recruiting class that's coming in, is a chance for the University of Houston football to not only put themselves on the map, which I think after this win, they're definitely at least attracting a lot of eyeballs nationally. They can't just be dismissed as a program that's, accumulated a lot of cupcake wins, for the lack of a better phrase. This is a real, legit program that a lot of people in the comments have mentioned. Arizona State had not lost at
At
home
home.
in several games. 10-game
11,
winning streak,
10-0,
11-game
11-0,
winning
yeah,
streak.
10-0.
And the University of Houston Cougars football, they didn't just go to Arizona and squeak by a win. For 3/4 of that game, they flat out dominated them. And that is the most impressive part for this UH football team. And that's what hopefully they can finish these last four games on a high note, not have a letdown performance, and let the chips fall where they may, right? If they do find themselves back in Arlington for the Big 12 championship game, not to get too far ahead, but that's the exciting part. Granted, this is barely year two of Willie Fritz. We're not even talking about the years to come when we start talking about the high recruited talent that's having a lot of optimism from UH fans.
Man, speaking of Coach Fritz,
Absolutely. It, like you
Go
keep
ahead,
saying,
Dan.
don't want to get. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So like you said, you don't want to get too far ahead, but this is what I think Coach Fritz probably envisioned
Hmm.
when we had a heavy turnover in our roster. I think he felt like he had a good enough team to where we could be competitive. I know that they knew the schedule this year. We there's a lot of the teams that upper echelon that we don't have to play. We don't have to play the Iowa States. We don't have to
Cincinnati.
play Cincinnati. We don't have to play some of the better teams. So I know it works out in our favor. Now, granted, you have to go into a tough place, like you said, going to Arizona State, who I'm telling you that that stadium is a hard stadium to go play in, especially the job that head coach has been doing to get people to
Hmm.
come back to to support that football program. He is mastermind. Like, he's one of the top legit coaches out there, and I hats
Yeah,
off to him.
that's
I
facts.
respect the way his team plays. I respect the way he coaches his team. I respect that guy a lot because Arizona State for years was never like that, but he
Hmm.
has built a culture. Being a alumni, he really put his heart into it. So to go into that place and win, and like you said, dominate. Like, we came out and we punched them in the mouth. First drive, we drive down there. We get 3 points. We should have been seven, but we
Yep.
came out with a
Drop.
statement. And I saw in the comments somebody said that, are you concerned that maybe we're running Connie too much? Absolutely not. We pay Connie a lot of money. I'm sorry to say, this is the type of ball that we have to play. When you say identity is always been with Willie Fritz is grit. He's a grit type
Hmm.
of coach, and that's what he preaches every day. So what kind of quarterback does he want? A quarterback that's going to be gritty, who's going to get those tough yards, going to run the quarterback count, who's going to get the extra 3 or 4 yards. I was telling my guy in the gym, I said, dog, we got Tim Tebow 2.0 right now. Like, Tim Tebow was not beautiful at all in college, but that guy won games, and I think that's what Connor's doing. He's having timely throws. He's playing with grit, and you can tell them guys believe in him now. And
Yeah.
we didn't have that belief in the quarterback situation we had last year. Those guys actually believe now. We just keep the game close, and he keep making play after play. Our defense can steady go out there with knowing that, okay, we make stops, we're gonna win this game because we got enough points. And I've been one of the hardest guys on U of H. I'm still tough on the offense. I still think it should be much better than what it is, but it's getting better. So by it's getting better, I'm happy. I'm excited. I can't tell you how 7-1 feels so good. And normally in normal circumstances you don't get excited about well, you do get 7-1, but I believe this team is exceeding everybody's expectations, which is huge for us.
And I even just thinking back to last year, if we had the quarterback that we had now, as good as our defense was, we could have probably exceeded expectations last year. But getting back
Yeah.
to to Connor, I think everything that you mentioned, plus the confidence that he's exuded. Just go back to last week. He's like, "Nah, we're gonna score on every drive." What did they do? They come out and score, and so that bleeds into the leadership. And I think he's gotten more comfortable in the system, whether it's making throws, whether it's making the runs, that he can get the job done. And I was just sitting here thinking that we talking about Coach Fritz, and I was thinking about Coach Sampson. We got two coaches who, throughout their career, has won and really are kind of like underdog coaches in the sense of now they at Houston is kind of like an underdog program, and both of them fit us well because we at an underdog school, but in a big city, they've won throughout their entire career, and they both known for being gritty. And so our football team can continue to and reach the heights of where our basketball team has done. I think we got the right guy, and I think we're on our way.
Absolutely. And we're talking about Connor Wegman, 201 passing yards, threw for a touchdown. Could have been two, but Tanner Goldrow more than made up for the drop touchdown that he had on that
Yeah.
first drive. 7 catches, 100. Of receiving yards, he had a touchdown ultimately later on in the game. But Connor Wegman, uh, Bryce, to your point earlier in the game about really using his legs and utilizing, really taking advantage of his full arsenal, right? The full weapon that he has. When we're talking about that first drive, the huge design run that Houston ran for him, and he gained a huge chunk play that put Houston. One, they were in attack mode, but put him already in position to score. And granted, they very well could have come away with a touchdown. They didn't. Still put up a field goal on the board, and then the defense came in, and they're playing true complementary football. When you hear that term often from teams, right, that's always what they're chasing. And for Houston in this case, for much of this game, they did that, especially in that third quarter. That third quarter was really executed to perfection for Houston, where when offense would get it, they were going down, driving down the field, and coming away with touchdowns. And then the defense was just neutralizing anything that Arizona State was trying to do. And then on top of that, they were forcing a lot of turnovers. Now, granted, Houston was helped by the missed field goals that, quite frankly, not only were those missed field goals, but those were terrible. That might be in the two worst field goal misses that I've seen in my entire life.
Point
They
blank.
weren't close in any way, shape, or form. But Houston, again, they capitalized on the mistakes by Arizona State, and that's what good teams do. They make you pay for the mistakes that you make, and that's the reason why they came out victorious.
Absolutely. I mean, Um, Last year, if you go look at how Arizona State won the Big 12, it wasn't pretty either. There's a lot of games they had just like this where they escaped or they should have, but tough teams last. And if you are a tough team, when times like this happen, you're gonna be the one standing at the end of the day because mentally you've trained yourself to overcome obstacles throughout the game, and that's the biggest issue. Like you can be one of the most talented teams, and you can have all, but if mentally your team is not tough, when situations like field goal blocks, field goal misses, and stuff like that happen, you fold. And when situation like that Tanner drop, normally that you could look at yourself like, oh, that was our opportunity to jump on, and we only got 3 points. But instead, the team bounced right back. They know that Tanner gonna play on Sundays one day. He's that good. He's gonna play on Sundays one day. They believe him. They know it was just okay. He's gonna make up when he come back. He's gonna make that play. So and he made plays. And that's what I'm seeing out of this team is that I'm seeing a belief in themselves because they're tough, and this is a tough football team. Um, I couldn't be more proud because we still have our flaws. Like I think schematically wise, offensively, we could do a lot better. Still getting our players in space, but up front, I feel like we could do better communicating pressures and communicating combos and run blocking situations. But is getting better. Like that unit O line is getting better. Our quarterback is definitely getting better. Like he is becoming an all conference type player. And I'm not saying that just because um, I'm saying it because he it's not the stats not gonna be beautiful, but he is winning football games. He's making winning plays, and it reminds me of a guy we had, Greg Ward. Greg Ward just made winning plays. He wasn't Case Keenum wise, stat wise. He wasn't gonna throw for 500, 5,000 yards. He wasn't gonna throw for 60 touchdowns like Case, but he made winning plays when it mattered. And this is exactly what this guy reminds me of, and I'm extremely proud that he's a Cougar.
Yeah, me too. We got I just got the post game. I'm trying to add. uh, Can you hear me, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just got the post game. Trying to get it on our screen so we can get some post game coverage from Coach Fritz.
If
I
you,
I hear y'all. Y'all hear me?
yes,
Yeah,
sir, Chris. Well, let's hear from head coach Willie Fritz. Dan, you just have it full screen, and then we'll mute. Let's hear what head coach Willie
All
Fritz
right,
had to say.
tough day. Unbelievably important person in our program unfortunately passed away this morning, and very difficult. This day and age, he wanted to do everything he could to try to, his family, that our players wouldn't know until after the game. And got out, I found out about, I don't know, 11 or 12, and we met with the kids and told them what was going on, and it hurt. It's a bittersweet win, without question. Kurt Hester is an unbelievably important person in our football program. I've been with him for a while. Best strength and conditioning coach I've ever been around, but more importantly, just a really, really fantastic role model for our student athletes. The guy came up on Thursday, just a couple days ago, and he knew his last time he was going to see the guys. And he really delivered a heck of a message to them. And, our thoughts and prayers are with their family and all. But, big win. I thought when we need to score offensively, we did a super job with it. Good drive there at the end of the first half. I thought our defense, we did a good job on some of their conversion downs of stopping them, getting some big plays. I thought we also did a pretty good job field position. They had some penalties on some returns that helped us. That last, punt, where they had to go 96 yards was big. So, a lot of good play from our guys.
Michael.
Questions?
Willie, if I could just start, just to go back, you said that the players found out after the game?
No, I told them we had a meeting at 1:30, pregame meal, and the word was kind of getting around, and I told them at that point in time, and We do a deal where we eat together, positionally, and the position coaches are there, and we just kind of sat and talked about Kurt Hester stories. There's a bunch of them. He's a rare individual, and I mean that in the best ways. And we've all been affected by him in a positive manner, and so we did that for about a half hour, and so the guys, they knew what was going on.
Something like that can weigh so heavily with coming into the game. Do you feel like the emotion, you guys kind of bottled it up and kind of helped you a lot?
I think a little bit. I told the guys, I said, I was lording, whale crap, and I told them right before we came out, I said, if Coach Hester saw the way I was acting right now, he'd call me the biggest wuss in the history of mankind and get after my butt. And, I'm going to coach my tail off today. I want you guys to play your tail off. Let's honor them, out there today. And I thought our guys did that. I'm sure he didn't like the last few minutes. He's probably saying, God dang it, let's get a stop, let's get out of here. But, yeah. Anybody else got anything?
What about like you said, getting out to the lead, being able to have some room there? How did you feel like things?
I think that was big. First drive, unfortunately, we got a penalty and we got a field goal instead of a touchdown. We talk all the time about 4 points plays, touchdowns instead of field goals. We scored to get it up 10 and then came back and had a big play there to get it up 17-zip to go in at halftime. I thought Connor Wigman really, really played well, running the ball. I guess he had 111 yards rushing, I see right here, and, threw the ball well, had over 200 yards passing. They're a good football team. So it was a big victory to come on the road and beat the defending, Big 12 champions.
Well, I was going to say you got a pretty good chance to be ranked for the first time since 2022, and that was the first road win over a ranked team since 2017. What's this kind of say about the direction of the program and just what you guys are doing right now?
Well, it's all good. But I probably give the wrong answer. Our deal is the next game now. We'll review this game on Monday. We'll flush it down the toilet, and we're going to move on to our next opponent. And that's how you got to do it if you're going to be as good as you want to be. So we're proud of all those things occur, but we got a lot of football left to play.
What did Tanner show you today with overcoming that early drop?
Well, he's a stud, man. He made 2 or 3 really, really difficult catches. And, Connor Wigman's not scared to throw it up to him because he knows he's going to come down with it. So, a bunch of guys made big plays. I thought Amari made a couple big plays. Hey, DJ Butler came in there and had there's 3 yards to get, and he was getting 5 or 6 each time that he ran the ball. We had some big PIs, which I thought were PIs. The guys did a good job of competing for the ball. So, yeah, a lot of guys came up with big plays.
What do you tell your guys in a contentious situation like when the fans were throwing the stuff on the field in the third quarter? How do you kind of keep them level-headed through that?
Well, it's just, it's disappointing. But, you just got to keep going. You just got to keep playing. And I believe all that is done through the Big 12 office, correct?
Yes.
And so there's nothing the officials can do when all that occurs. So, so you just got to keep playing.
That was head coach Willie Fritz post game presser, and a lot of things stood out there. Definitely you can see the emotion weighing on him from the loss, and so definitely condolences to coach's family, Coach Hester, and definitely see the emotion there. And I feel like he kind of bottled it in well, and I feel like the team probably had that emotion, that fire come out when they come out and play with, and so. And in the last next segment that stood out to me was just like, hey, we're gonna flush this down the toilet and get ready for the
Yeah.
next one because that's the most important win.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the head coach Willie Fritz mentality right there. And like we mentioned earlier, it's very, very similar when you look right across the street on Hallman, Kelvin Sampson, and the type of mentality that they have. Again, just another feather in the cap of Willie Fritz and really the good job that he's done with this Houston Cougars football team. And so far, a year and a half in, the turnaround that he's had. And again, just condolences, our deepest condolences to head coach or to the entire coaching staff at the University of Houston, all the players when it comes to strength and conditioning coach in Kurt Hester, and obviously in passing away early this morning. It's much more impressive what the football team was able to go out and do in the dominating fashion that they did for 3/4 of the game. And I mean, quite frankly, they went out there and they not to sound cliche, but they made Coach Hester proud in terms of their performance.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
Chris.
I
We
hear you.
can hear you.
Like it's sad because truthfully, when the head coach is laying down his vision, a strength and conditioning coach is the most important guy because he is the guy who's in control of making sure he built that toughness in all season. I just remember the days when I first got to U of H, how much I hated Coach Jackson because he was so demanding, so tough, and it's a person you see the most in the summertime. You're not with your position coaches, you're not with your head coach, you with your strength and conditioning coach. So it's all the hours you put in waking up at 5 in the morning all throughout the day is with your he sets the tone really with the program. So to hear about his passing, I can feel it, and I can hear it in Coach Fritz' voice because the guy just means so much to your program, and you can just tell how he talks about it. He just meant so much to not only as a coach but as a man because uh, he's the
Hmm.
guy that usually the strength and conditioning coaches are the guys who are the most positive because they're the most demanding and they want to see success happen. So to lose a guy who's that big in your program and to go out there and play for him like they did, it just makes today even bit more sweeter because I know that he's up there, he's smiling down on the program, he's excited, he's happy, he's running around pain free now because those guys went out there and showed the toughest that he helped build over the years. So I mean, it's a tough day, but what a great way to honor that man.
And I want to say this, rest in peace to Coach Hester. Cancer sucks, man. Cancer has impacted all of us, I'm sure, in some way, directly, indirectly. Everybody watching Let's Rage Coogs. It sucks. Um, Prayers to his family and everybody whose life Coach Hester touched. But on a note y'all touched on, as mentioned during the broadcast as well, Arizona State had won 10 straight games at home. Sam Levitt, when he starts, he had won 11 in a row. 11 straight Big 12 games when Sam Leverett started. That note came from the Big 12 on Monday. Well, that streak's over. So how about those Cougs?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how about those Cougars? Again, just an impressive showing that Houston did, and they did it in a multitude of ways, and this is not to take into account, but the University of Houston football team, right? They're playing with a lot of injuries. We've talked about the shift that they've had up front in their offensive line, and within the past week, the news broke that Stephon Johnson, one of their key receivers, is out for the season, and they just keep plugging in, and there's that next man up mentality. Someone else steps up and make plays today. It was both Connor Wegman with his legs. It was Tanner Kojo, again, made up for the big drop on that first drive of the game. Dean Connors, 20 carries for 48 yards, which isn't impressive, but he had a couple of big catches on big plays when Houston had to convert on third down. He made big plays, and then the defense, again, we can't reiterate. And that's kind of the story of the season, right? Heading into this year, how is this defense going to be with the losses that they had in the transfer portal And, heading into the year, we heard about, we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of depth, which we were like, yeah, okay, we have to see them on the field first, and they've stepped up. The defensive line, Carlos Allen Jr. continues to make plays for UH's defense, but now we go into the final play of the game, right? The perfect PBU for Houston to seal the win. This is a team that's here's what's the most impressive thing. I feel like as good as this win is, they still haven't played a clean game. There's still plenty of seating left for them to try to reach for, and that's what makes it exciting with 4 games left in the regular season for this Houston Cougars team.
Agreed. The offensive line with the false starts, that was still an issue. Not getting touchdowns in the red zone, still an issue. But salute to Eddie Walls, 3 sacks. He's healthier now, so you see the difference he can make. Injuries are a part of football, as Bryce knows, all too well. Arizona State was without their best receiver, but I mean the Cougs dealing with injuries too. Were the Cougs supposed to stop playing because ASU's best player, best receiver wasn't playing? Oh no, well we're not gonna, I mean, come on, it's football. We're
Next
not
man
gonna
up.
apologize for the win because he didn't play.
Nope.
And especially when you have a quarterback as good as their quarterback is. I mean, their quarterback is pretty good. It's pretty good. So I think the plays were out there for him to make, for his team to make. We just made more plays. So, I mean, so to your point, Chris, I mean, next man, the win is a win. I mean, we missing guys too. And so
Right.
there's no excuses. We came out in your home field where you're undefeated. Quarterback hasn't lost a game. And we made him let him know from the first drive, like, hey, it's going to be a tough outing tonight. And it was a tough outing from night. And we got after him. Connor made plays, and a better team won.
Okay, now guys, I'm gonna be petty, but the Cougs we're gonna play West Virginia next, correct?
Correct.
So I'm assuming because we're not playing a team in Texas, that means the crowd will be non-existent, right?
Well,
I don't know.
hopefully.
We talked about the momentum and how we encouraged the crowd to not so be how like they've been in the past. So we being
Our Department
optimistic.
of
You
Promotion,
got to come out.
they
You got
gotta
to
do
come
it.
out.
They gotta sell it this week. I mean, do what you
Yes.
gotta do. This is cliche, but this is the most important game of the season for us
Mm-hmm.
because you're not playing a very good team. So the natural for most athletes is to let down because you don't have to get up. Today they was going to get up for Arizona State because one, because Coach Hester's passing, and they want to play for him. Two, because it was a ranked opponent going into their house. So what do you think West Virginia is going to want to do? They're going to want to get up to play us, and we have to have that energy from the home crowd to make sure that we're up and give us that energy we need to handle our business. So it is the most important game on schedule because if you win this game, you put yourself in a 3-game season. And that 3-game season, one game at a time, they can dictate if you go to the Big 12 championship and possibly play in the playoffs. So, absolutely, this game is very important. And go tell a friend, tell your cousin, tell your aunties, tell everybody we need them in the stadium on November the 1st.
And we know the
I know.
student section is going to show out. I mean, I think it's been over 9,000 students. If we need to have 10,000 students, maybe that's what we need to do. But like Bryce just said, I mean, tell your mama, sister, cousin, auntie, hey, let's go to the game on Saturday, man. Let's go support those Cougs.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, listen, I don't care if it's an 11 a.m. kickoff, 2:30 p.m. kickoff. There's no excuse next week because the weather is supposed to be gorgeous. If it's an 11 a.m. kickoff, it's going to be in the 50s. At worst, it'll be in the 60s. And if it's a 2 p.m. kickoff, it's going to be in the 70s. There's no excuse for Houston fans to have next week. The weather won't be an issue regardless of whatever time it is. This is a 7-1 football team. It's going to be top 25 ranked. And not only that, they're 4-1 in the Big 12, which is they're top 3 in the Big 12 conference, which is what fans said for decades, right? Just give us a chance. They're making that happen. They're executing, and this is a team with 4 games left in the season where they're one of the top 3 teams in the Big 12 conference. If you can't get up and show out, regardless of it's West Virginia, who obviously they're having a bad season. but you got to go in there to see Houston, right? They're wearing Houston on their chest. They're representing the University of Houston proudly, and they're doing it with a blue collar mentality. With defense first, they're making enough plays on offense. They're putting a good product on the field, so they got to come out, show support regardless of whatever time it might be, because the weather's not going to be an issue next week. It's not going to be like tonight where it's rainy, muggy, it's humid. No, it's going to be dry. It's going to be a really good weather atmosphere, and it's not going to be raining next week. No
And
excuses.
I see the comments, folks saying 11 o'clock, good luck with that. Well, that's part of our problem. Okay, we're defeatist before anything starts. We come up with reasons / excuses. Well, it's too early. It's too hot. It's too humid. The opponent's not who I want to see. Like Andy said, you're going to see the Cougars play. That should be enough reason right there to get your ass into the stadium. Is to see the Cougars play, and they're playing winning football. They're winning. They're 7-1. Great chance to be 8-1. As Bryce said, it is the most important game of the season. Cannot have a letdown. Get this dub. Have fans wearing that red. Either we are proud to be graduates, supporters of the University of Houston, or we're not. Okay? Folks cried about we're not in the Big 12. We're not playing tough teams. We're not playing teams from the Southwest Conference, on and on and on. Well, we're in the Big 12 now. Well, we're not winning enough. We don't play a winning brand of football. We're 7-1. We got the coach you want now. Got a stable coach, winning foundations, establishing culture, all these things. Now it's 11 o'clock, maybe too early. People,
Jeez.
we are the University of Houston. If you have the funds, the time, and the means, get your behind at the stadium. Stop coming up with excuses about, well, it should be Andy Yanez to get out more. We're telling you right now, Let's Rage Coogs, who they're playing. We're asking you to be at the game.
Get out there and rage, man.
Thank you.
Get
Yes,
out there and
sir.
rage, and I think Coach Fritz gonna have them boys ready. Just the credit for his staff and what he's been preaching. Like he said in the press conference, that we flushing this down the toilet and we getting ready for the next one. And I think the guys is gonna be ready. The leadership of Connor is gonna have on the offense is gonna have it ready. Defense is flying around. I think we're gonna be ready, man. I'm very very happy with this group. Like Chris is saying, get out there. But even if they don't, even if it's what we expect Houston fans to be, or if it's a new era in the fans, and like whatever it is, the product on the field, I'm confident saying is they're gonna come out and be ready to play.
Real quickly, I want to take this time to, first and foremost, thank each and every single person that's taking the time to comment on this Saturday night here following Houston's 24-16 victory over Arizona State, 24th-ranked Arizona State in Arizona. Big shout out to Eddie Lozano, Houston Cougars, Germany, Giovanni, Eddie Lozano really had a lot of super stickers. A big special shout out
Also,
to
Juan
you, and
M
also
for the super sticker.
Juan Miranda for the super sticker as well. We cannot reiterate how grateful we are. Even whether it doesn't matter what it is, any kind of super sticker, we're really, really appreciative. Even if it's just a simple retweet, like, comment. Thank you, Eddie Lozano, for another super sticker on this game. We can never say thank you enough. And of course, we also like to say shout out. This is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. Big thank you to Mr. Steve Saxenian, I should say, for being a primary sponsor of not only this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, but each and every single post-game show. And of course, a big shout out to Mike and Jennifer Pittman with Star Pizza for being today's secondary sponsor on Let's Rage Coogs, as they have been all season long. Be sure to check them out at starpizza.net, where you can check out their various deals, or also follow them online at Star Pizza HOU on X, Star Pizza Houston, Texas. On Instagram, they're posting daily content. They have an NIL deal with Austin Carlisle, so they're supporting Coogs supporting Coogs. That being said, if you are interested in potentially being a sponsor on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, maybe this is your first time ever encountering Let's Rage Coogs, we are at it after each and every single football and men's basketball post-game show. That's right, the men's basketball team that is top 2 in the country is going to have an exhibition game tomorrow on Sunday, October 26th, and they are less than a week or about a week to start off their regular season, November 3rd, when they tip off for regular season action. We'll be live for that post-game show November 3 for Let's Rage Coogs, the first men's basketball post-game show of the season. So if you are interested in being a sponsor, reach out to us at letsragecoogs@gmail.com. That's all lowercase, letsragecoogs@gmail.com. Coogs helping Coogs. And Eddie Lozano hit the nail right on the head. Need the city of Houston to embrace U of H. This is the University of Houston. University of Houston. It's a city school. Big shout out Eddie Lozano again, man. You're a rock star with all of these super stickers. We can't say thank you enough. Yeah, Crabtree. This was the first road win for Houston over a top 25 team since 2017. Again, what this University of Houston Cougars football team is doing is something that hasn't been done for damn near almost a decade. So that's
And,
the
we,
reason
and
they're
we're
going to
doing it
come
in the
out.
Big 12. It's not the
Correct.
American. We're doing this in the
Correct.
Big 12. Power 4 football, man. Come on, man. Put some respect on our name. Come out and support us, man.
Bingo. Doing it in the Big 12 conference. Justin Singleton, I got to get those ad reads, sir. I got it down. You don't need no breath when you're taking that breath. The ad reads.
And let me say, I saw Ecclesiel's comment. He's accurate, correct, saying that the people who are watching the show aren't the issue. They'll be at the games. You need the city to embrace the university. Agreed, but it's not enough. Go back to what Bryce said and Deion said. Tell a friend, tell your cousin, tell your auntie, tell your coworkers, your boss, whoever, to be at the game, to be at TDECU Stadium.
Oh my
As great
God.
as the basketball team is, we don't sell out the basketball games until Big 12 play.
Richie
Okay?
Rich.
Mr.
Good.
Rich, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You know what? We will do that raffle for you during the week. We will make sure if you have an X account, comment it. We'll tag you in it. That is awesome, man. Big thank you.
But, if you're a Houstonian, this is a fair weather city. I think someone commented on that earlier in the show. It's a fair weather city. If you're old enough, you know that. But I would like us to start changing that. If nothing else, focus on who we are. Focus on the Cougs. Cougs helping Cougs, Cougs supporting Cougs. Before I die, I'd like it to be a given that a football game at the stadium is sold out, regardless
Doesn't
of the
matter who the
opponent.
opponent, whether it's
Regardless of the opponent.
FCS, bottom tier FBS, or if it's a Big 12 conference opponent, undefeated versus undefeated, should be sold out no matter who it is.
I know I'm asking for a lot based on the history of our support and the
It can
fair
be done,
weatherness
though.
and all those things. But
If administration is listening to us, open up more. We need more students in there. We've been saying there's more than
yes,
9,000. We need more. Let more in there. No students ever be turned around because they can't get in the game. Maybe we need 12,000, 15,000 students. Open it up.
because if you start young and letting them attend the games, then you would definitely build in that future fan base of support.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And like Dayon, you said earlier, the student section for the most part this season has done a really, really great job of turning
Yep.
out and show out. So shoot, if the if the alums and the big heads in terms of the seats aren't showing out, then open it up. Let as many students as possible. Anybody that has a student ID that wants to get into the game should be allowed, especially if it's not a full sellout. Yeah, Crabtree makes a great point about Arizona State. It's in a suburb of Phoenix. They sold out their stadium, and he was impressed. Now granted, Phoenix isn't as big as the city of Houston, but it's still a major city. And they, again, sold out. They had a good crowd turnout. And even when Houston was up 24-0, there was a handful of fans that left. But when they made that rally, there was still a pretty decent crowd that was there and kind of rallying and trying to will the Arizona State team to have the improbable comeback.
Well, let's change the culture. Let's start a new tradition, a new era. We're in the power conference. There are 300,000 living alumni in Greater Houston. TDECU Stadium is 40,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, out of the 300,000 living alums, we cannot get 40,000 35,000 consistently to see the Cougs play. We have to do better.
We got, and the team is doing better. I know I just kind of feel like we shifting a little bit versus let's do it. I'm with you, but man, what a big win tonight. Just come out. Let's come out, man. Come out and support a good football team.
Yes, sir. And once again, the final score from that victory, Houston goes into Arizona. They beat the Sun Devils, the same 24th-ranked Sun Devils heading into this game. Same Arizona State team that made it to the college football playoff a season ago. And they come out with the 24-16 victory at Arizona State. Big win for the Houston Cougars. And again, for me, I think this was a really, really good performance for U of H in terms of exercising kind of that performance they had 3 weeks ago against Texas Tech. It wasn't the best showing for U of H against a top 25 opponent against the Red Raiders, and they had the complete opposite end of the spectrum tonight against the Sun Devils in Arizona. So big, big win for Houston. Connor Wegman again threw for 201 yards, had a passing touchdown, had 2 rushing touchdowns, a lot of yards on the ground, and Tanner Colville led all receivers with 7 catches for 100 receiving yards. He caught a touchdown as well. Amari Thomas, when it comes to receiving, only had 3 catches, 25 yards, but Houston did a good job of spreading the wealth in terms of different receiving options. Dean Connors led Houston. Outside of Connor Wegman in rushing, 20 carries, 48 rushing yards for UH, and they have next game for Houston November 1st at TDECU Stadium against West Virginia. Kickoff time yet to be announced, will be announced tomorrow night, Sunday, October 26th, as part of the Big 12 Conference's 7-day window when they announce it. So kickoff time not yet announced as of the recording of this show. Chris, Bryce, Dayon, any final thoughts on this big win from Houston in Arizona?
I can start it out. A huge win. First, huge win, especially dealing with the loss of the strength condition coach. Again, rest in peace, Coach Hester. But
Mm-hmm.
what a program changing, program momentum, program winning, cultural on for the city type victory today. And I couldn't be more proud to be a Coug today because those guys went into that place and beat another team that's similar, who has a great culture, who's gritty, who's tough. And for those guys to do that, man, I couldn't be more proud of them. I know the former Cougar players are behind them. I know the former Cougar alumni is behind them. As we can see throughout this show today, there's some passionate fans who are excited about this team. Like just to reiterate what we said earlier today, let's try our best to get to the game and let's support this team. I mean, even if they don't go 11-1, they gave us hope, and now it's hope for the future that Coach Fritz really knows what he's doing. So I know I'm proud. I was a big critic of his, but I can happily say that I was wrong, and I'm excited about the future. And even though I was wrong, I'm still coming to the games. So I still support my Cougs. And I hope we all can have that same type of mindset where even if we don't like what's going on, just because their university has done so much for a lot of us, it is giving us opportunity to live the lives we want to live, that we just come out and support it and give back.
Well put, brother. Well put. Coach Fritz has given us hope. And for a while there, we didn't have hope in football, being successful at University of Houston. We now have that hope. So thank you to Dayon for producing the show and toting the rock for me specifically, since the Wi-Fi here just said no on my laptop tonight. But to Andy and Bryce and Ed Lozano and Richie Rich for the support, the super chat stickers, that's a record for us,
Yeah,
no doubt.
yeah.
That's truly appreciated. I'll be at the exhibition game Sunday evening to see what the team looks like, the basketball team. But it's an exhibition game, so people don't freak out one way or the other, good or bad. But I'm looking forward to Saturday beating West Virginia on the 1st, and then men's basketball start on the 3rd and women on the 4th. So winning ways are coming here in a lot of sports. And reminder to everybody, if you haven't, take advantage of the free pizza offer from Star Pizza Become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section. Members only. Y'all take care.
Anything, Andy, before we sign off?
No, just take advantage of It Star Pizza. If you haven't visited any one of their 3 locations, do so and tell them that you heard about them on Let's Rich Coogs and or Potsdam
Mm-hmm.
Pajama. Big thank you to Mike and Jennifer Pittman, as always, for being a secondary sponsor on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. Big thank you to Mr. Steve Saxenian for being the primary sponsor of Let's Rage Coogs. This is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. Once again, the final score, Houston comes out on top victorious from Arizona, 24-16 over the Arizona State Sun Devils. And that, Dan, I'll toss it over to you. Your final word closes out.
Man, I'm just super excited. Just as much as the fans. I mean, like everyone has said, appreciate all the super stickers. Everyone who'd even commented, joined us, watched us, whether it's for a minute, 2 minutes. We would not be where we are without you guys. So it's Coogs helping Coogs. I mean, we do this every week because we enjoy it. We cool fans. We want to come in and talk, even when in the dark days. Now, when it's the bright days and the sunny days, and let's keep this momentum going. Let's pack it out the stadium. Let's go 1-0. Like Bryce said, it's the biggest game of our season coming up next week against West Virginia. Let's win that. Then we'll be down to a 3-game season going 1-0, potentially can be in the Big 12 championship game. And it's better days ahead. Basketball is right around the corner. Like Chris just said, exhibition game, make sure you show out for that. Women's, I think it's for the turnaround. Coach Mitchell got the right coaching staff. And so it's a good time to be a Coug, man. We definitely are turning into a real powerhouse like we see around campus a lot. Of course, you can't end an episode without saying "Go Cougs," man.